Hey everybody, this is Brian Davidson Turka, and I'm reading through the Bible. I'm reading through the book of John. We're in John chapter 9 right now, and Jesus healed a blind man. And in the midst of healing this blind man, uh, there was a lot of controversy about who Jesus was. Well, the religious leaders decided that they were going to question this blind man, and they were going to question this the blind man's parents, and the parents were scared the because many of these religious leaders, they wanted to kill Jesus. And the blind man, you know, he just got his sight back. He's standing on the truth that he's familiar with. He once was blind, but now he sees. So from here, we need to think about who's really blind here. I mean, he came under a lot of fire from the religious leaders. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. They didn't want to hear good things about Jesus. So they they kind of threw him out, saying, "Well, you were cursed from birth. You're a sinner. You're a sinner, and we're not going to listen to you because you're saying good things about Jesus." That's kind of where they're at right now. So let's continue at chapter 9 of the book of John, verse 35 through 41. All right? Spiritual blindness. Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, and when he found him, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" Son of Man was a term that people used for the coming Messiah. "Who is he, sir?" the man asked. "Tell me so that I may believe in him." I love his honesty. I love this man's honesty with the religious leaders, his honesty with Jesus. It's just so unpretentious. It's like he's not trying to wax. He's not trying to put on. He's not trying to put on. He's not trying to wax religious. He's not trying to put on a super religious front. He just wants to know what's going on, and he's coming just with just a full real honesty about wanting to know what he doesn't know. I love that. He's not pretending he knows more than he does. Jesus said, "You have now seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking to you." Then the man said, "Lord, I believe." And he worshipped him. Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into this world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind." Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked, "What? What are we blind to?" They knew he was talking about them. Jesus said, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains." So they're not seeing that Jesus is the Son of God. They're not seeing the salvation to come. They're looking at their position, they're seeing the power, and you know, um, being told that they're the ones who are blind, they don't like that. Now this is a time where they could look at the miracles he's performing. They could look at the good that he's doing. There's an opportunity for them to reflect here. Instead, they just decide to see this guy who is a threat to their power, and now he's just insulting them. So that when people say things about us, we have a chance to stop and say, is there something to this or is there not? We can reflect on these things and try to better ourselves if there's some truth to it. Now, sometimes there's people that like to surround themselves with people who will only say yes to them, who will only tell them what they want to hear. There's a lot of wealthy people who really like wealthy people saying it's like, oh, yes, you're absolutely right about everything. There's a lot of powerful people, some people in religious circles who are like, oh, yes, you are so right about everything. I'm so sorry that I would never say anything, that you disagree with, And so, so with that, they kind of throw themselves into this group mentality where they're going to just, throw themselves in with who they see as the most powerful. And it wasn't too long ago, I did another reading where Jesus fed the 5,000, and these 5,000 people were talking about making Jesus king. They were trying to coax more miracles out of him. It just it seems like it says 5,000 men. Some people think that this implies that the men brought their families, so women and children also. So this is like more than 5,000 people. It looks like right there he had the makings of a revolutionary army on his hands right there. But that's not what Jesus is about. He is about spiritual restoration that's going to meet the world, not a physical conquering. He's not a warmonger. He's not trying to grab power. He doesn't need to. He has all the power. But he wants to meet the world with the truth, and he is the truth. So that's it for this section. Tomorrow we're going to go into chapter 10. Hope you enjoyed it, and just remember, Jesus gives us sight that is beyond our understanding. He meets us where we are. He met this blind man where he is. And the hearts of the religious leaders at the time, they didn't seem to want to meet him. They were happy just to be trying to climb social ladders in their social institutions. So you guys take care. I am going to keep self-distancing. So I love you, but I love you from a distance. You love people from a distance too. Take care. Bye-bye.